marathon runs and no reset runs like this, anything can happen. And it seems like our first race is starting right now. So the first area that we start in is the Grove. The Grove is an annoying area. It has a lot of imps that jump around randomly and that you can't really predict what they're going to do. You have to react to what they do, which makes it a hard area to speedrun through. At the start of the game, you have a roll, which is, as in many other games, it's faster. And it also gives you invincibility frames, allowing you to pass through enemies and avoid attacks that would otherwise hit you. Other than that, you can jump. You also have a double jump, and then you have a melee attack and a ranged attack with a bow.
Yes, and if you press roll and jump at the exact same frame, you can roll into the air. Well, it's called roll jump for a reason. And that gives you the invincibility frames of the roll and the height of the jump, which is really useful to platforming through places. You can also cancel it to make the roll jump a little bit shorter with a melee attack midair.
Yeah. And in this, just in addition to just getting through the grove, the runners also want to gather 80 money, which is the currency, which you can see right beneath their health bar. Because after this area, we will buy an item which will give us a damage boost for a few boss fights. So in order to get that money, they will be grabbing 3 chests in the grove, and you've seen them grab 2 of the chests already, and they want to grab the 3 chests in order to get 80 money before they get out of the grove.
Yeah. On a side note, you can see that the players are playing on different versions of the game, because Seb is playing on the beta version, which is the older version, that we mostly use for some reason I don't remember right now, but yeah. And Jaddo is playing on the newer version of the game, and you can see that he has a smaller health bar. That's because the developers decided to shorten it, because on the older versions you had max health right away, but you can also collect vitality fragments while playing, so they wouldn't give you anything. They would just be their pointless collectibles. And they actually give you health on the newer versions. So if you want to play that casually, it's really a nice upgrade, I guess.
Yeah. But with that said, having different amounts of max health doesn't really do much in the run. Easy gives you, even with the nerfed health that the Jaddo starts with, you will be able to tank a few hits here and there and still continue. And during boss fights, it doesn't matter, because if you complete a boss fight without getting hit, you will get a special item. And these items are often very powerful and speeds up other bosses a lot. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of health or not. You do not want to get hit in a boss fight anyway. And our runners are at the Lubella and the Mocha boss fight. It's a 2-part boss fight. First against the Mocha, who is an annoying little bully who likes to jump around and be annoying. And then Lubella decided to die before SebK, which is very annoying. You just become unable to damage her at all. So it's just timeless.
Yeah, people seem to be drawn to this fight. I don't know why, honestly. Could you tell me?
So I did mention that you get items if you manage to do a boss without getting hit. So we didn't talk about the first boss because it went by so quickly. But that boss also gives an item, which is the Edea's Pearl, which gives poison properties to your arrows, which in this game means that whenever your arrows collide with something, they leave a poison cloud behind, and that can poison yourself as well. So you have to be careful to not poison yourself during a boss fight and miss out on the boss item with that. And the item from Lubella is the Bachman patch. It drops a lot of blocks from the sky, and each block does a little bit of damage, but there's a lot of them. So together, they speed up boss fights quite a lot. And now the goal for our runners is to grab, or the ultimate goal in this game is to get an audience with the queen in order to find out what is spreading the corruption. So in order to get access to the castle, they need to go around and gather the 4 karst crest fragments in order to unlock the path to the castle. And the first one we're going for is in the subterranean graves. And this area features water physics, in which you can swim and jump as much as, like infinitely jump. But while in water, you are slower, but your roll is still pretty fast. So it's very important when swimming to actually be rolling as much as possible.
Yeah,
And
this area is also really full of spikes, which can be really intimidating, and it can also break your runs a whole lot, because the spikes in this game, no matter on what difficulty you're playing, they're always an insta-kill.
Indeed. So even touching the spikes a little bit will instantly kill you. And in this area, the runners took a small detour in order to get a key, which is used to unlock the next area they will be going to. And now SebK is going to enter the next boss fight against Derelict Frida. Frida is a dumb drinking bird, which you will see right now. She likes to poke at you and shoot laser beams. And annoyingly, she can vanish, as she did for SebK, which loses a bit of time. And wow, okay, SebK does not have a good. Wow, okay, I'll just be quiet. Commentator's curse is. Oh! I'm sorry, SebK. I'm sorry.
So Seb was doing the MLS shots, which are primarily quicker, but he didn't really have that good luck right now. Commentator's curse, I guess.
Yeah, that was the dumbest drinking bird I've seen in a long time. Yeah, but our runners are both going for riskier melee strats. The easy strat is just to sit in a corner and shoot arrows at Frida until she dies, which is completely safe. But it's not as fast. And our runners went with the melee strats and did it well. So now, if you look at Jaddo's screen, he picks up the first crest fragment. And they also got an item from Frida because they killed it without taking any damage.
So to get to the Karst castle and meet with the queen, you need to gather 4 crest fragments because plot. And to gather them, you need to go around the map and kill the bosses. And one of the crest fragments is pretty well hidden. I've seen casual players have big troubles with finding that one. And honestly, I'm not even surprised because it's really hard to find casually. But each of the fragments give you certain abilities, upgrading your character, like faster arrow charging and stuff like that. Seb is actually refighting Lubella right now because she's an evil witch and she wants to have a rematch since she lost. And she just dived.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's very unfortunate. Diving in this fight is actually actually loses more time than if she dives during the first fight. I think you lose 12 seconds in this fight and 9 seconds in the first fight. Well, Jaddo was unlucky as well, and Libella decided to take a dive. And now SebK is showing off the best part of the game, where you get turned into a cat. As a cat, you are smaller, you are faster, you jump higher, and you are cuter. So cat form is very nice. You need it to access certain areas since you're smaller. Yeah, and you are a cat. Like, what is there not to like about it?
Yeah, you can't forget that part that you get to be a cat as a cat, and cats are very cute, so you get to be cute, and you get to be a cat.
Yeah. Oh, did Jaddo skip that bell?
I think so.
Does he take the monastery bell instead? I suppose he has to take one bell, or else he will lose time to a mini boss later. But yeah, so now that they are able to turn into a cat, our runners are going to prepare for the next fragment, which will be allow them to warp to bells. So in order to warp to a bell, which are the save points in this game, you have to have seen the bell that you want to warp to, and you can only warp to certain bells. So what they will do is they will just enter the room where one of the bells are, in order to trigger the flag so that they have seen it. It's hard to see on SebK's screen, but yeah, he went to the right there to the next room and just left it quickly in order
Oh yeah,
to.
and sorry for intruding you, but just wanted to say that Jaddo has actually just shown us the reason why we play on the older version of the game, which is the fact that on the newer version, when you talk to somebody, Kaho actually gets transformed back into her human form, which loses you about half a second, which isn't that much of a time, but it's still a time loss, and optimizing is a big thing in this game.
Yeah. And you saw SebK defeat a mini boss, which is a very easy mini boss. You just use 2 sparse threads and it dies. Very simple. Did Jaddo take the fallen monastery bell and refresh the sparse threads or not? Yes, it seems so. Yeah, so the next fragment they are getting is, as I said earlier, the one that will allow them to warp. It is near the start of the game, and it requires you to be in cat form to get it, because you need to squeeze through these small tunnels. And you can't do that when you are in human form, because you are too big. In addition to the version differences with starting health and you forcibly transforming to human form whenever you interact with an NPC, is that there's a small bug fix that actually affects this category. Because when we say that, oh, you have to do a boss fight without taking damage, that's not the complete truth when we're talking about the old patch. Because if you get healed during a boss fight, that also disqualifies you from getting the boss item, if you were talking about the old patch. But it is fixed during the latest patch. It is fixed in the latest patch. And when you play on easy, you also get 2 extra starting items, and one of them regenerates your health all the time. So if you don't unequip that, you will actually not be able to get the boss items. And now SebK is entering the next boss fight, which is against Arsonist, one of the tougher bosses in the run. Arsonist has a lot of health, but luckily we have the help of Calf, the female knight in this screen, who will help us do some damage to the boss. The Arsonist has a lot of health, and a lot of things can go wrong. You can easily trap yourself in a corner and get stuck.
Yeah, and you want to finish the fight as close to the right as possible and as close to Kath as possible, because she needs to talk to you after the fight, and because you want to enter the screen to the right after you finish the fight.
Yeah. SebK got through the fight without any issues. And now Cap wants to talk to you. She wants to give you a lot of exposition about what the game is about and all of that, but that's slow and a lot of dialogue. So we just say no to her and get call a roach instead. And you see here Jaddo is in a tight corner, but Arsonist was very close to death, so that worked out well. And now SebK has grabbed the third crest fragment, which allows you to dash in the air by using your dodge button. And dashing is a very fast form of movement, and it's a good way to get through enemies. And now let's see here. We have 4 white cats, 2 black cats, and 1 caramel cat for our SebK. That's some good cat RNG right there when getting the monastery key. Very nice.
Yeah, that's the best room in the game, definitely. It's very
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, there are 7 cats of random position and color. And that's all there's to it. Some nice cat RNG.
And you're the 8th cat. And
Oh, yeah.
Jaddo has got 4 black cats, which is pretty rare.
Oh, 4 black
2
cats.
whites and 1 caramel.
Oh, it's like the reverse of SebK's. 4 black instead of 4 white. And you need to grab that key in order to reach the area which SebK is in, and in order to reach this fight against Pardoner Fennel.
And he actually messed up.
Yeah, a small mishap there. Oh, he got hit and decided to reset for the boss item. Arsonist's boss item is the Pocket Incensory, which adds fire effect to your attacks, which just increases it gives you more damage. And especially for the Bachman patch, its damage gets increased to like double or triple or like 4 times the damage, which is very nice. And Jaddo gets Jaddo gets hit as well. Has to reset in order to get the boss item from Fennel. And Fennel's boss item is the Tainted Missive, which removes 1/4 of your health, but gives you 100% damage increase for a short while, which makes it a very useful item. It just increases your damage. But since it damages you when you use it, you can't really use it during the boss fights if you want to get the boss items. And there, now Jaddo managed to defeat Fennel very nicely.
Yeah, Jaddo wasn't really very lucky with this boss fight. And SebK has entered the next area in the game, which is called the Royal Pinacoteca. It's a difficult word, so the speedrunners have a lot of nicknames for it.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed that you actually said it and did not just go with one of the nicknames, because I always call it the Royal Pinecone City. I just refuse to think of it as anything else.
Yeah, there's also the Royal Pinacolada or the Royal Pythagoras Theorem.
Yeah. Royal Piano City is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I have the... Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that it also has a really nice soundtrack with a lot of piano. So that's why the Piano City.
Yeah, that is true. This game has a lot of nice music. So SebK is entering one of the most random boss fights in the run. The first phase of this boss, she can roll, and Lupio decided to roll a few times. So SebK got hit and decides to go on without the boss item. If you have this, if you get the item, you save 20 seconds on the final fight, so you lose more time if you have to reset.
Yeah. It's also not as important as all the other items because you only use it in a single fight. And
Indeed.
also, SebK didn't take the safety bell before Lupiar, so he couldn't really reset even if he wanted to.
Ah, I see. Yeah, in general, it's not worth it to reset to get the heavy arrows, which is the boss item from Lupiar. Okay, Jaddo messed up. He wanted to use some items before entering the boss fight and messed up, so he decided to reset. So SebK is now in the final area, but in order to actually beat the game, we need the true ending. In order to get the true ending, you have to upgrade your melee weapon by bathing it in some tea water.
Yeah, it's hibisco tea.
Yeah, and in order to upgrade your weapon, you needed to grab an item in the Pinecone City, the Sealed Wind, which is used to activate that windmill and get access to this tea. And this upgrades your melee weapon, so it's now green instead of red, because everybody knows that Luigi is better than Mario. And it also, yeah, and it boosts your melee damage. It's a nice little upgrade. And now that SebK has upgraded his leaf, he can go through the final area of the game.
Yeah, so the Backman patch, which we got from the first Lubella fight, actually comes in handy, even in the later parts of the game, as you could have seen a bit earlier, where you use it to unlock the ladder from the opposite side that you're supposed to, because the switch to it is actually on the same screen, but it's just hidden, and you're supposed to approach it from the other side. But you can also switch it with the Backman patch because it interacts it, and it counts as a hit.
Yeah, that saves quite a nice amount of time, so you don't have to go around the castle. SebK is now fighting the Clone Angel. The Clone Angel fight. She spawns clones of herself, and you have to find which one is the real one and then murder her. And when you find the real one, she dies very quickly if you use the fast strats.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and you're also casually supposed to find out which one is the real one by looking at her attacks, because the real one attacks flash in red. But there's also this thing where the real Clone Angel spawns a little bit lower, closer to the ground, which actually even the developer didn't know about. So that's a pretty nice thing.
Indeed. SebK is about to enter the final boss fight right now, which is against the Queen herself. The Queen is a free-faced boss fight.
That is right.
So it is the longest fight in the game, and it's even longer because SebK does not have the heavy arrows, but it should be fine. So if you do not have the upgraded leaf, the boss fight will end after the second phase, and you will just get the normal ending. And I don't remember how that looks because I have only done it once.
I think Kaho just kills the queen instead of saving her. So Kaho survives, but the ward probably does not, I guess, because... I mean, she has sealed the curse, but she hasn't saved the queen.
That is true. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the true ending, you use the upgraded melee weapon in order to cleanse the corruption from the queen, and the SebK managed to defeat the queen right there.
That's a really
GG,
good
SebK.
time.
Yeah, 2450, that's nice. So here at the end, Kaho uses the upgraded leaf in order to cleanse the corruption from the queen, and also sacrifice herself for it in order to save the world.
That is pretty sad.
Indeed. Oh, Jaddo also went for the Yeet strat, which is a relatively new strat in this game, where you knock the enemy closer to the edge and then damage boost off the enemy in order to reach that ledge. You used to go like to all the way to the right and then around, but it's faster to do the Yeet strat, as we call it. It's a very fun strat. Apparently, Kaho doesn't survive in the normal ending either. So
Oh.
being Kaho is suffering.
Oh. That's actually depressing.
Yeah. And here we have Jaddo against the queen. But Jaddo has heavy arrows. Heavy arrows increases your arrow damage by 100%. Combine that with the pocket incensory and also the tainted missive, and your arrows do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, they actually deal exactly the same damage as your third malachite, I think.
That might be true. I haven't thought.
Yeah,
Okay, so Jaddo is a little bit scared about their health right now and decided to use the crystal seed instead of the tainted missive.
Yeah, that amount of health looks really scary to use the missile.
It looks fine. Like, it's not like you get hit in the last phase anyway.
Yeah.
And
And
GG to Jaddo.
Yeah, GG to both the runners. Yeah, so if you have any questions about the game, it's a good time to ask them right now when we're waiting for the second run.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's a best of 3. So if SebK wins this next race, then SebK will have won this match. Otherwise, it will go to a race 3, and then the winner of that one will take it home.
That is correct. So while we were waiting for the next race, I guess we could say a little bit about the game's plot, which basically concludes on that there has been a curse going around that has also reached the faraway corners of the kingdom, aka the village of Lun, which Kaho comes from. And so she, as a priestess, decided to investigate that by going to the Queen of Cards, which, well, we just defeated in the run, as she thinks she may know something about that. And that's basically the main point of the plot. It then uncovers, as you've just seen, in that the queen is actually the source of the whole curse, so Kaho has to seal away the curse by defeating the queen, or rather defeating the demon that has taken control of the queen. And Seb, by winning, has just gained one very cute cat icon.
Oh yeah,
That
that
is amazing.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh yeah, the best ending would indeed, one of the best endings would indeed be if Cowho and Courtyard could raise all those kittens or all those kitties instead. That would have been the best
Yeah.
ending to ask for.
Yeah, and feed them with the fish from the Clone Angel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you attack the wrong angel in the clone angel fight, fish will spawn from the sky and punish you.
Yeah, they all fall onto the monastery to feed those very cute kittens.
No, I'm pretty sure the match between me and Heiho is cancelled, so it's not happening later today. Sadly.
What happened?
Something turned up for Heiho, so he couldn't make it.
And I was getting really hyped for that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty scared about that race since Heiho is probably the best Momo player around right now that's actively playing, and in the tournament he is the current world record holder, and I am not. So,
I mean,
and the second race has begun here.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't Heo has like at least 3 current world records?
That might be true. He has the easier world record, he has the normal world record, he has the hard world record. He does not have the insane world record because he does not like running on insane difficulty.
Yeah.
Insane difficulty is my preferred difficulty because you start with 1 health, so everything you touch kills you, and I think that is very fun.
See, there's no Heo there, so you could be a world record holder.
Oh yeah, we still have double stop and Nan at the top of the leaderboards on insane. Yeah, I am working on I'm trying to get the AVIB insane world record instead. AVIB is another category, which stands for all vitality fragments, ivory bugs, and bosses. And it's almost the same as any percent, but you have to do some extra collecting and grab 20 ivory bugs, which are scattered around the world. I think there are 13 health fragments or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 13.
Yeah, 13 or 18, those are the numbers I get in my head. I'm not sure how many there are. And then there's 1 extra boss which you do not fight in any percent, which you also have to kill.
Correct. The extra boss is named Kuar, and she's sister of the Pardoner Funnel, which we, well, pretty much just see for a few seconds.
Yeah. Well, our runners are very close as they approach Edea, the first boss fight. And for the Edea fight, optimally, you want to get the quick kill, which is where you bait a specific attack from Edea, and then you shoot your arrows at her tail, and they will all hit her pearl at like the correct frames and the correct distances, and that will instantly kill her because there's something about the arrows hitting multiple times. Jaddo got it, which just instantly kills her. SebK is unlucky, and Edea has decided to dance. How many dance moves? Is that 4? Is that 6, maybe? I'm not sure.
4.
SebK was unlucky, but managed to save it and scavenge a quick kill out of that anyway. So Jaddo is in the lead as they are going to Mocha and Libella. Oh yeah, he did say he was going for that quad dance. SebK also got the quad teleport the last run. Only one dive on Lubella though. Not acceptable. Needs the double dive And yeah, here we have Jaddo very shortly entering the Mocha fight. As I said, Mocha is a small bully. Or he's a small enemy but a big bully. He likes to jump around and be very annoying.
Mocha is a very big bully, so instead we just bully him instead.
Yeah.
It's a revenge for all those casual runs and all those messed up runs because he decided to bully.
Yes, indeed. Mocha is the biggest bully in this game. And let's see how Jaddo's Lubella fight goes. The Mocha fight went well. SebK is past the Mocha fight as well, and no dives for Jaddo. Good job.
That was a clean fight.
Indeed. Let's see how SebK managed to do it without any dives. Good job, SebK. And they're now
Lubella behaved.
Yeah, Lubella behaved. Oh my.
That's actually nice of her.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just used right now to seeing all those runs with at least 2 dives. Because she can just like be really annoying at times.
Yeah. Especially when for Heyo or when you're going for the world record times. If you get the dive, it's just reset because you lose too much time to that. If you are lucky though, she will dive when she has very little health left, and the poison from your poison arrows from Idia's Pearl will be able to finish her off. Which is a small comfort at least.
Yeah, but she can also instantly dive, which is a big time loss because you also lose a charge of the crystal seed and you only have one.
Yeah. She can't instantly dive in the first fight against her. She can only start with a dive in the refight.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember any time he started diving the first time.
Yeah, I can't actually recall that either.
Oh yeah, indeed. Sometimes you might see a small fairy fly around that's blue and shoot blue laser beams across the screen. That is indeed by inputting up, down, left, right, and then it works as any other active item in this game. And since we haven't described how that works, we can do that now. So active items have a set amount of charges you can use. And every time you save at a bell, you refill those charges and can use the item again. It's the same thing with that secret fairy item, is that you can use it once each time you need to save.
Seb actually got the blessing of the jellyfish, which you can see at the room with the bell that he actually didn't save it. That's a safety bell, but if you honestly if you have a pretty good PB and just happen to miss out on the sparse threat, you usually reset the run instead, because backtracking through half the area to Frida doesn't really save you time. It's actually the longest backtrack from the save, I think.
Yeah, Jaddo was unlucky and got a teleport. As his SebK have been luckier and gotten more damage on Frida. Oh, Jaddo gets hit. And the debating, should he reset? Okay. He decided to reset. Did you? No.
Oh.
Jaddo did not take the safety save. So I think Jaddo is not very happy right now.
Yeah, I imagine.
Which is rough, but that's a risk. A risk you have to calculate when you're doing no reset runs in a race. And
Yeah.
SebK is moving towards the Lobella refight without any issues so far.
Yeah, and the cutscene which we're seeing on Jaddo's screen right now is when you meet Eri, the girl right there, which is the princess of cars. I don't know how she got into the subterranean grave, but she just is there, and is a really nice NPC, honestly.
Yeah.
You get to meet her later on if you walk around the area a little bit. And she can actually trade you for a hidden item. That is pretty useful in casual runs.
Wait, what did Jaddo do? Did he reload? And why?
I don't know, honestly. He wasn't at the Frida fight yet.
He fell to spikes. Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's really unfortunate.
yeah. SebK managed to get through the Lubella refight and is now entering the better half of the run. Where you are a cat, a cute little cat, jumping around. Platforming as a cat is actually more difficult than you might imagine, because the cat sprite looks very long, but the hitbox for it is like 1 block wide, or it's a lot shorter than it looks. So it can be hard to land on small platforms or like small blocks like that. Oh yeah, one interesting fact about this game is that elevators are evil and like to kidnap you. So, which means that if you activate an elevator, you can't get off the elevator until it stops. So you have to ride it the entire way. Which means that if you accidentally activate an elevator, if you take an elevator up and accidentally activate it, you have to ride it all the way back down. You can't just jump off it.
Yeah, and then you have to ride it all the way back up, which is pretty time lossy.
Indeed.
Okay, so Seb is actually not doing that, but until you get the air dash and after you get the cat form, the quickest form of movement is to perform the roll jumps and then immediately cancel their animation with the melee attack. And that is because the cat roll animation has a little stagger at the end, which makes it slower than the human forms.
Indeed. Rolling as cat has a recovery animation at the end, which is very slow. But if you do the roll jumps in the air, you can cancel out of it with a melee attack without losing speed, which makes it a very fast form of movement. But with that said, rolling as a cat is a very nice animation. It's very cute. So we don't mind if they mess up on the roll jump input and only do a roll.
We indeed do not.
And now Jaddo is fighting the dumb drinking bird. The dumb drinking bird decided to drink some of Kaho's blood, and we can't have that. We need those boss items.
On my race against Heo in the first round of the tournament, I actually had to perform a sparseless run. Well,
Ah,
I didn't have to. I could have reset for like the third time in a row, but I didn't want to, I didn't really want to take that. And I have to say that a lot of the fights are really really difficult without that item, and they can very easily snowball into missing very very many of the items that are really needed throughout the run.
yeah, yeah. For a lot of the bosses, if you have the correct items, you can kill the bosses very quickly, which makes it easy to get all the items. But if you miss one early on, if you miss the Bachman patch or the sparse thread, then you will have a really hard time
Yeah,
dealing with the bosses later. And Jaddo gets hit once again and resets on Frida.
feels
It's
bad.
very rough when you get out of sync like this and just can't do the strats properly. SebK is entering the Arsonist boss fight again. Oh yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned is that there are two boss fights where you can get hit because the items you get from them don't matter. The first is the refight against Lubella, which makes that fight very chill to do because you can just focus on doing damage and you don't really have to avoid not getting hit. And the second fight is the queen fight because after you kill her, the run is over, so it doesn't matter. Okay, Jaddo is going for another safety bell here, which is even closer to the boss. So if he has to reset again, then he will have a short run back to Frida. SebK finishes Arsonist in a good position, very close to the right side of the screen, and with cow close. Yeah, my first race in the tournament did not go super well. I missed out on Bachman patch and I hadn't saved after Idea. So I did a run that was without Bachman patch, and then I messed up on Frida, which meant I did not get sparse thread either.
Oh yeah, I remember that run.
Yeah, that was a special race.
Yeah, but it wasn't really that bad for you because you're accustomed to the AV runs, right? So you know the path through the karst karst castle later on.
You don't need to go up there in the AV route anyway. So I had no idea
Oh.
what would be optimal movement there. I just winged it and it went fine.
Oh, I see.
It seems like Jaddo is giving up, maybe? Yeah, Jaddo has forfeited from the race. So,
Yeah, I mean, I feel him really resetting on one boss again and again isn't really nice.
yeah. So we'll see how SebK finishes this run and see what time he gets. And SebK has managed to grab all the crest fragments, and they're going to the Royal Pinecone City.
Yeah, this is the magical barrier that you need the 4 crest fragments for to pass through it. It actually has a little like knockback animation. It knocks you back a little bit to open, but you can cancel that by air dashing straight into it. So that's actually a strat too for a small thing like that. Another proof that optimization is heavy in this game.
Yeah. There are a lot of small optimizations everywhere in this game when you get to the highest level. One neat little trick in this game is that um, you can use items as you are dropping down through ledges. So you can, for example, either use the crystal seed as you drop through a ledge and activate it, or you can transform out or into cat form and drop through a ledge at the same time, which
Yes, which actually,
saves.
yeah, which saves
Yeah,
you a little bit of time.
yeah. SebK
Yeah,
is not going for the safety save here this time either. So either he's getting heavy arrows or he's doing another run without heavy arrows. And we see Jaddo has brought out the dumb drinking bird. And
burp.
I think we can all, oh yeah, drunk being, dumb drinking bird. Yes, I think we can all agree on that. SebK manages to do the first phase hitless, which is very nice. Uh, because you can't do the first phase safely because if you mess up the strat they use, where they use 2 Bachman patches and then a sparse thread, or sometimes use 2 sparse threads if it's not enough. If you don't manage to kill Lupiar with those items, then it gets really scary because Lupiar has thick armor and you can't damage her with arrows, and she does not get staggered from one hit. So it's a gamble every time you try to hit her if she will attack you back or not before you're able to stagger her, which makes it just a very
Yeah,
scary fight to try and do without the items or when it gets messed up.
yeah, and the fact that you can miss the items is you can miss the first phase clean execution is because she can do the most OP thing in this game, which is rolling, just the same way as you do. And she does not get staggered when rolling. She can do that. I think she can do that infinite amount of times, but the most I've seen was 4, which is actually a crazy amount because if you get 2, that's already messing up your cycles a little bit. And I've personally gotten 3 rolls out a few times, and that just messes up the whole boss fight. While 4 rolls, well, yeah, I don't need to tell you about that. You can figure it out. It's really, really difficult.
SebK moving through the castle once again in order to get to the queen. For being the final area in the game, like the castle isn't that dangerous, especially with the shortcut we take using the Bachman patch. Like there aren't that many enemies around, and it's actually pretty safe. The Grove is one of the most dangerous areas where it's most likely to get hit, and then the Royal Pinecone City is also very difficult and has some precise platforming in order to get through it without getting hit. And
Yeah,
here we see.
I
Yeah, go
think the
ahead.
scariest area is the subterranean grave, honestly, because it's just full of spikes and a few really precise jumps. Even the Pinecone City doesn't have that much of. Well, it does have really precise movement, but it's not as dangerous because there's not that amount of spikes you can fall to.
Yeah.
And
Oh
SebK
yeah, yeah. I'm
performing the
used.
eat again.
Yeah, I'm used to the AVIP category where you have both cat form and the dash when you go through the subterranean graves, which makes that area very safe, and you don't even have to grab the key to get to the Lubella refight area. So that part of the run is a lot smoother and safer in that category.
I mean, you have to fight the ladder boss.
Ladder boss is nice. Ladder boss is best boss.
It doesn't do damage.
No, that is true. Ladder boss is a very long ladder. You might remember it from when our runners went to Arsonist. There's a long ladder they drop down to in order to reach the Cinder Chambers. In Avib, you have to climb it back up all the way. It's a long ladder. It's a nice ladder.
Yeah, it
And here
takes
we have
about
said
a minute or something to climb that.
no, 40 seconds at most. I don't remember the exact time, but somewhere between 20 and 40 seconds. I'm not sure. And there we have it. SebK wins the race and the match because Jaddo forfeited. GG. 23:38. That's a good time. That's close to his PB actually. I think it's a 23:15 or something. So that was a very good run by
Yeah,
SebK.
it actually is.
Yeah, and but we are not completely done yet. We still have some interviews to do with our runners. So we'll see. We'll bring Jaddo up first and hear what he has to say about his runs today. Hello, Jaddo.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so how do you feel about it?
I just want to cry.
Yeah,
And that's honestly understandable. That
yeah.
3 was really, really unfortunate.
I can't talk.
yeah, it's understandable.
I'm so used to just completely resetting after getting hit in a boss fight that I didn't realize I'd never saved.
Yeah. Frida decided to be a big bully for you today,
Yeah.
and then it just went downhill from there. It's rough, but it happens.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the first race instead, because that went a lot better.
Yeah, I did go a lot better until Fennel for some reason.
Oh yeah, you did reset to Fennel a few times.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. Like, Fennel isn't really a problem for me, and it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Usually Fennel is pretty simple, but you have a strat, but sometimes you just mess up on executing on the strat, and it doesn't work out.
And hello, Seb.
Hello, everyone. GG.
Yeah,
GG.
How do you
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. That was alright. The second race was interesting.
Congratulations, Seb.
Thank you, Jaddo. Oh boy, I actually said that I was going for the quad dance and I got 5. That was interesting.
It was 5, yeah. You were unlucky during the first race because didn't you get 4 teleports on Frida?
Yes. That was
Yeah.
Four.
That was rough.
Yeah, luck aside. Man, I'm sad. I couldn't get PB on that second race. Just because of the idea. But aside from that, I'm happy I could run consistently through both races, and sorry for the frame drops. That's just my internet fucking up.
Yeah, you were close to getting a PB in the second race. What your PB is?
It's 23:27.
Oh, okay, that was very close then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually very close. The second race was very good for me. I actually got a gold in the spring leaf.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how would you have PB'd if you hadn't gotten the 5 dances for Medea? If you just gotten the quick lead? Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
It's okay. PVs will come later.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
It just goes.
I was on a really good pace actually at the start of that second run.
I
Oh.
didn't.
Yeah,
I
you
my
actually
best
were.
grove ever actually.
I
Oh,
didn't see what happened in the second run. What happened?
so yeah, first Jaddo got hit during Frida and decided to reset, and Jaddo had not saved like in subterranean graves at all, so it was after Lubella 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then Jaddo died once again to spikes.
I pretty much gave up at that point.
Yeah.
I
You-
oh.
was destroyed.
Yeah, you died once more in the subterranean graves, and then you grabbed the safety bell, and then you did Frida a few more times, but yeah, you got hit like three more attempts, and then
I lost my will.
yeah, it's
I
understandable.
yeah.
Man, that's unlucky. Really unlucky, man. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh yes,
Pretty-
people are calling you lazy SebK because you didn't roll jump as a cat.
I never, unless I get a better PC. I already said talk about that a little bit. My
Okay.
keyboard doesn't actually register all the inputs I do on it, so roll jump for me is very very hard. So I'm more consistently just doing normal rolls and normal jumps than trying to do roll jumps.
Yeah.
I'm doing roll jumps on that controller though, which isn't actually too bad.
Yeah, I like playing controller when I did that at the start before I switched over to keyboard.
Okay, that's fair enough for you, totally. Okay. Thank you, man. Well, I'm really happy I can participate in this tournament. It's actually really, really fun.
Yeah, you were very close actually in both races until in the first race Fennel. You both reset on Fennel in the first race, but Jaddo, you needed a few more attempts there than SebK.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about panel. That didn't happen. It's just an illusion, okay? I didn't transform into a cat.
But the cat is the best part of the game, so I understand why you would want to do that.
Yeah, but not in a fight.
There's a very funny clip where Artemis of the Hunt, another runner of this game, he did some loop yard practice, and he was like saying out loud, "Okay, melee hit, arrows, sparse thread," and instead of using sparse thread, he transformed into a cat.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, I can find it for you after this.
All right, thank you. Which one on the low volume? Can you hear me well? Huh?
Yeah. I would say that actually you, Seb, are a bit low on the volume, but I just adjusted that personally.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry.
At least for myself.
All right. I'm gonna go before my nieces come here because it will get really really loud.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the commentary, Jaddo. Thank you for the race. It was
Yeah, just for the
really
race, it's fun.
fun. And well, have a nice day, guys. See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a good
so
night.
yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, so I think that's mostly it for us. Do you have anything you want to talk about, Jaddo?
No, I think I'm all good. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Yeah, then
Thanks,
we
Jaddo.
we can wrap this up. So first, thank you, SpeedGaming, for helping with the organization and all the logistics behind all of this. Uh, if you're interested in learning more about Momodora as a speedrun or as a game, there is a Discord you can join. You can find it on the speedrun.com page for this game. You can find an invite for this. We have one of the best channels we have is a channel where people post pictures of their pets. So if you like cats, that's a good place to get cat pictures and also pictures of other pets.
Yeah, let's not
And
forget about the other pets. The other pets are really nice too.
that is true. That is true. Yeah, with that said, I think that is all for us today. We'll have more races some other day because this tournament is far from over. But for now, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm also gonna tell everybody to follow the schedule, which I'm gonna link in just a second in the Twitch chat, where you can see other scheduled races for our tournament. Well, there are none yet, but there are definitely going to show up really soon, since we have the whole second run to play. Second round.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that said, that wraps it up, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. Remember to join our Discord. And thank you, Jaddo, for the races. Thank you also, Seb, because I think he's still watching. Thank you, Dream, for having me. And that would be all.
Yeah, and thank you for helping with commentary.
Cheers for having me. Take care.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.